The time is 1 o'clock on a pretty moderately temperatured Friday. I will be your host for the evening. My name is Garland Crosby, and I'm here with
Jam. It's me.
Jam. Welcome back. You were here last week. We had another show. We talked about and played, the Jaguar. So that was awesome. I had a fun time doing that. It was nice recounting our our work from like over a year ago, and now a year later we are doing another piece of work.
Man, we back. Well, it's good to be back. Thank you for having me, and thank you for making this possible, Garland.
Absolutely. So, this one, what are we going to listen to?
We are about to listen to a new radio play. It's like a podcast movie format for the folks who don't know. This new radio play's title is That Thing. It's That Thing, written by yours truly, Jam, under my playwright pseudonym, The World Premiere. And this is, should I do my brief synopsis?
Yes.
Super brief, right?
Yes.
All right, super brief elevator pitch. All right, so utilizing my method of creating art, it's called mythologizing, basically taking, a lived experience and then fleshing it out into narratives, characters, lessons, stories, plot. Really taking the last several years of me being on dating apps and going through the motions as far as like morality and what am I doing on this thing, and understanding just what it means to connect with yourself, connect with another, and ultimately what are you trying to get out of this thing? So that thing, I just call it That Thing. There's a lot of different emotions involved. It's not that deep, but it also is that deep. And so really poking fun at that, and also utilizing bigger myths such as Greek mythology, and then also some Christian mythology as well, to kind of contextualize the narrative into modern times, like dating apps. But, we've always been, as humans, we've always been, like, where my boo thing at? Or, I'm lonely, and what am I trying to get at? So, yeah, basically that is That Thing.
Awesome. And I will say, let's get into it. I mean, I would like to say this was a radio show written and directed by Jam here, The World Premiere, and it was produced by myself and my friend Sophia Pratt. So
Shout out to Sophia Pratt.
So we will play it. You good?
I'm great.
Let's listen to it. And it burns, the ring of fire.
The ring of fire. Wow.
Yes.
I don't know how loud can I clap.
That was That Thing.
That was That Thing. That thing just happened.
All right, so we have 10 minutes left here. Now let's all just talk about it.
Yeah.
This is your first time hearing it, so
yes.
What do you think?
Whoa. It goes in, it's a lot of different environments. Anytime that I'm hearing a radio play, I'm thinking of like, where are they when they're speaking?
Yeah.
And we traveled a lot in this one in about like 46 minutes?
46 minutes and 20 seconds.
46 minutes and 20 seconds. So I'm thinking of all the environments in which these conversations took place, and they're all distinct. And that's a shout out to you and to Sophia. You created all the different landscapes and the spatial environments. And I'm just like, whoa. And like, it was succinct as far as like carrying the plot. I got a lot of thoughts, so I'm gonna just wrap it up right there. But like, it sounds like it just travels.
Yeah,
you can hear it travel.
Absolutely. There's a bunch of different soundscapes in here. A lot of it is just the atmosphere that helps you keep track. The elevator, the club, the where else were they? The helicopter pad, the bar.
Yeah,
it was a lot of soundscapes that we had to like sort of work through. I would ask, like, who are the actors?
Yeah. So we have Roya. Just who comes to mind first. We have Roya, who plays the chorus. That was like the name of the title of the character, which is basically all the other characters, like the Uber driver, the Lyft driver, Candace, the Cedar A app voice. So shout out to Roya. Shout out to Tanaya, who plays Athena. Nate, who plays Obsidian. Joe, who plays the executive producer. Jared, who plays Azazel, and Connor playing the magistrate. Yeah,
they all did a great job.
Yeah.
It it was easy putting their voices together.
Okay,
like
glad.
getting all the pacing because everybody had chemistry, so it all sounded like they were actually talking to each other.
I'm glad. That's like the
awesome.
best thing. And you can hear that the most whenever you're like acting over just like radio or like a radio play. Like you can hear acting versus just reciting lines. So making it my business, preparing beforehand, like doing, and shout out the theater, just like going into the rehearsal room.
We would
and
not be here without theater.
You would not be here without good old theater. So just being in the rehearsal room and rehearsing the lines over and over again. My biggest thing is always the intonations, because you can really hear the difference between like I'm reading this line and like I'm reading this line. Like it's so like small and intricate, but it really makes a huge difference when you hear it as a listener.
And then, what was your sort of comment on society with this?
My comment, right? This is the comments on society. I had to play that back. The other one that you asked with the Jaguar, I was like, bro, what am I saying? Because I was making it really like complex, but this time around I make it very simple, right? My commentary on society with this play, It really isn't a comment on society. However, in my performance studies course, we're discussing how performance in theater is always reflecting upon politics. So that I would say that it wasn't an original comment on society, my intention with writing this, but ultimately, everything's going to tie into what we're all participating in, which is society. My comment would just be on like, it really is, how do we connect in society? There's, we're so far into history, and even harkening back inside of the play itself, like to Greek mythology and to Christian mythology, we've been connecting and disconnecting and separating and reunionizing for eons. So how do we get back to ourselves, and then how do we get back to our significant others, or how do we actually connect in this day and age where we're connecting through the phones? Like we'd much rather be passport bros and like fly across the country, because it's like, oh, no one in my environment is like on what I'm on, which that's true to a certain extent, but to again make it super simple is just my comment is just, how are we connecting with ourselves, and then how are we connecting with each other, whether that's through apps, whether that's through conversations, whether we're having a reckoning with ourselves, and then how is society like coming together. So just to make it super simple this time around versus last time.
Wow. And so the story, Greek mythology, I know you mentioned another one, like what was, sort of inspiration for that?
Oh, yeah. The biggest inspiration is coming from Christian and specifically Catholic mythology, using the archetype of the Archangel Uriel and that idea of the seasons, how these are the four archangels, and interpreting and deriving a meaning of the fall or the fallen. Whenever you feel like you made a mistake or a regret in your life, like you're falling, you're not exactly like dead wintertime. You're kind of in that purgatory space, and that's what I was attempting to personify with Obsidian, going through this whole moral, like, damn, I kind of, damn, beaver dams, I kind of sold my soul. He feels as if he did that, but there's someone on the other side, and this is what Azazel represents. Azazel kind of being another attribute or characteristic of the Uriel or of the fall archetype, but kind of being like the sinister or the negative or the evil side of that Azazel. But even Azazel kind of having this flip of morality, working in Tartarus, but also saying, hey, wait a second, I think he kind of got tricked. Not that Azazel or even these spiritual entities, esoteric entities are like pro-humans, because humans suck. But he's like, wait a second, hold on. Y'all are messing with kind of humans without giving them give them a little bit of grace. So that's where the Azazel character, or that Uriel virtue or principle, is kind of being acted out throughout this entire play. And like before we feel like, oh, it's completely over, what are these trials and tribulations that we go through personally, like this purgatory Tartarus, which is Greek as well. It's not necessarily hell, but it's like the hell before hell, that concept. Or but yeah, so what is that kind of trial and tribulation that we go through, and to see our way out, or to make a you, like literally like Uriel.
That's very good.
I appreciate it, of course. And inspired by Uriel itself.
And I have some things to comment on the production process of this,
please,
because exactly 2 hours and maybe 4 hours ago, I was worried that I would not have this play ready for you.
Oh, whoa.
Because I was trying to export it off of my hard drive onto my laptop. And it didn't do it. And it wouldn't do. I've tried it for 3 days straight, and it was failing.
Oh.
And so I had to take all the files off the hard drive, put it on my laptop, open up the whole project again. I had to add some stuff back in. And thankfully, it worked out. I was so frustrated. I was so worried I wouldn't have this for you today.
Oh man.
And I totally have to. I was thinking to myself, okay, in a few hours, I'm going to be telling him I almost didn't have this for him, but I will have it for him. And thankfully, I figured it out, and I was so happy it worked out. So.
Man, thank you to you, man. You know, like that whole process, everything I talked about earlier, but it's like, it's nothing without this. It's nothing without your expertise. It's nothing without your efforts in putting this all together as far as like broadcasting it. Because it's like, you know, we got our stories and I can, you know, perform it in a corner somewhere, but you took the time and you use your expertise. And I appreciate that, man. And I had no idea, man. You would have told me that, I would have been like devastated and heartbroken.
It's funny. Sophia and I had put in 25 hours. This was part of a project, so we put in well over 25 hours for this. So
yeah, man,
it was, I mean, it's well worth it.
It sounds incredible. Thank you, man.
And we have like a couple, maybe 30, maybe a minute at most left. Do you have any final thoughts that you'd want to provide?
Man, I want to give a shout out to everyone involved, all of the actors.
Absolutely.
Man, speaking of like these last minute things, and I'll make these very brief. You know, this story it wasn't originally supposed to be like this. How it, you know, this final product. But I want to say thank you to all the actors who stuck it out as far as like, you know, delaying in the process, but ultimately just being able to do this independent, utilizing the resources of the university. I want to say thank you to everybody involved, all the voice actors. Thank you to the audio engineers, and thank you to the good folks at home for tuning in at XTSR Radio.
Absolutely. Thank you all so much. So this has been That Thing with Jam, the world premiere, the interview, and the world premiere.
Yeah, it's the world premiere right here. Thank you so much, Garland.
Of course. The time is now 1:59, coming up on 2 o'clock, and we thank you for joining us today.